Murphy, Graham Geraghty and Ray McGee. The major changes from 2 years ago are most definitely in their half-back line. Galway have made just one change in personnel following their exciting win over Derry. No movement in personnel among the backs, however. Gary Fahy captains the side from number 3. Tomás Mannion is outside him, flanked by Declan Meehan and Sean Old the player. Kevin Walsh and Michael Donnellan in midfield. But up front, Paul Clancy starts today alongside Ja Fallon, and it's the usual suspects in the key positions, and they are Derek Savage and Pádraig Joyce. A lot of potential there, but they have got to deliver. Who will it be? The biggest moment of the year in Gaelic football. Touchdown by Kevin Walsh to Tomás Mannion of Galway. Back to Michael Donnellan. Ooh, dangerous moments in the Meath defence early on. Darren Fay coping well. Cormac Sullivan. Out towards Evan Kelly. Real danger man. Pacey performer. Sean Og the player chasing after him. Nicely inside here towards Ollie Murphy. And there's the first foul by Gary Fahy there, as Graham Geraghty was making his way through, injuring his left shoulder. A ticking for Gary Fahy, free to Meath. Really explosive start.
Yes, indeed, Jaron. On the other side of the field, I know there's a couple of changes in the marking systems. First of all, I think at full forward is Derek Savage.
That's kicked over there. Ray McGee, first point of the match. So very first attack and a very productive opening.
Yes, just going back, Ray McGee is or at the far side of the field. Derek Savage is playing full forward. Mark O'Reilly's marking him. Pádraig Joyce is in the corner, and Darren Fay has gone out on him, and Ollie Murphy has taken up Tommy Joyce, presumably to stay with him if he goes rowing.
Several players trying to put in a telling challenge, and in the end, Evan Kelly has the free kick given against him. Sun in the eyes of the Galway backs. You can see Michael Donnellan trying to shade the sunlight from his eyes. This is easily swept up here by Donald Curtis. Curtis has gone down. Late foul. The foul is committed by Paul Clancy. Number noted. So free to the Royals. Into Richie Keeley. He's lost it. Michael Donnellan. Stylishly kicking it ahead as far as it possibly can go. Oh, it's missed. And here's a chance for Pádraig Joyce. Oh, the goalkeeper missed it completely as he came out. It's going to be a 45. Derek Savage was coming onto it. And just for a moment you felt Galway have to score.
Yes, that's a great opportunity as the ball comes in here. But Pádraig Joyce, the goalkeeper, Cormac O'Sullivan, kicks it. Derek Savage, Pádraig, I think, actually got the kick to it. But that's a good bit of last-ditch defending on the goal line, and 45 results from it. But Galway were very unlucky. Meath did very well to cover off that time in the person of Donald Curtis.
Michael Donnellan to strike this from the Dunmore MacHale's club. He has kicked it, and he has kicked it over the bar. That's a good start by Michael Donnellan. So, the match level. Early stages. Really, that should have been a goal.
Oh yeah, it was a great opportunity altogether. A little bit of a hesitancy on the part of Cormac Sullivan, but I must say that you've got to credit the defending work of Donald Curtis.
Richie Keeley breaking it down. Nigel Crawford coming onto it. Trying to get away from the attentions of Michael Donnellan. Back here to Nigel Nestor. Inevitably there's a support player. This time it's Cormac Murphy. He takes too many steps. Free kick to the tribesmen. Inside by Tommy Joyce. Breaks down here to Darren Fay. He's taken up a central defensive position once again. Kicked by Curtis, but only straight at Joe Bergen. Joe, whose Uncle Jack from Tipperary, of course, was one of the selectors for Tip 2 weeks ago in the hurling final. Nicely in here to Graham Geraghty. Getting there ahead of Gary Fahy. Held up beautifully, John McDermott. And he has put it over the bar. The umpires took a little while over that one. But Meath have gone back in front again, and they lead by 2 points to 1.
That's a great bit of off-the-ball movement, actually, from John McDermott that time, and Graham Gertie spotted him very well. Time his run late, screwed the ball over beautifully with his right foot. Great score from John McDermott.
He's doing well in the scoring stakes of late. That's 2 goals and 7 points now in championship football for him. Kevin Walsh ballooning it forward. Great catch. Fay once again, superb. Mark O'Reilly trying to get that ball away from danger. Porrick Joyce winning it back. Here's Ja Fallon. On the left boot, he puts it beautifully over the bar. Ja at his very best. Enthusiastic Galway followers have seen their side draw level once again.
Indeed, last year the Galway followers bemoaned the fact that Ja wasn't there when they played Kerry, but that's a confidence-boosting score from him. Again, lovely way he gets onto the left foot and puts it delightfully over the bar from about 45 yards.
He didn't look at his sharpest in the semi-final. He was taken off in that match, and there were fears that he might not make the starting 15. He has. He started well. Galway get it back. Declan Meehan. Chasing after him is Richie Keeley. Been forced in towards the corner. Has support. Savage is there. Comes back in towards Porrick Joyce. High challenge. Free in. Fouled by Darren Fay. Galway can go in front here. A very bright opening.
Great opening, Ger, and I must say the Meath tackling is outstanding in the backline, but it needs to be disciplined as well as crisp, because if they're going to give away frees like that, Porrick Joyce has the quality to actually punish them.
I suspect, though, that in open play, Galway need a more authoritative performance from Porrick Joyce up front.
Yes, but he's not doing too badly yet, although Darren Fay has fielded one great ball over his head.
Can Galway take the lead? Oh, he's missed it. Very, very poor kick indeed. That's a bad miss.
Yes, that was a bad miss from Porrick, and most untypical. But just going further out the field at the moment, it's noticeable that Joe Bergen has gone into a midfield position. They seem to be attempting to crowd out the middle of the park as much as possible. And in fact, he's picking up Nigel Nestor at different times, whereas Gerald Fallon is kind of trying to drift in more into the forward line.
In fact, he's doing a man-marking job on Nestor. Here's Shuttle the player. Nestor's after him. Several players after him. Back towards Savage. Tight angle. Inside towards Porrick Joyce. Can he turn? Plays it back well. And it's kicked over by Joe Bergen. Point for Galway. Well, they may have missed a free a little while ago, but they have taken the lead for the first time.
That's a beautiful piece of a combined play by the Galway forward line. Savage eventually being finished off by Bergen. Wonderful piece of football. And again, he dropped a couple of balls there that gave his confidence good. Jai gives the ball across here. Sean O'Connor coming forward as which he normally does, lets the ball back, and eventually Derek Savage puts it to Bergen, who puts it over.
Lovely combined play. The Galway forwards in full flight. John McDermott and Kevin Walsh. Walsh just getting a touch to it. Richie Keeley trying to win it there against the other number 12, Joe Bergen. McDermott firing it down towards Ollie Murphy, holding onto it well. Murphy so dangerous, and that is one of the reasons why he's put it over the bar. Ollie Murphy's first point of the day, and the teams are level for the third time. It's turning out to be a cracking final.
Yes, and that's a typical Ollie Murphy point. Again, the back thought he had everything done right. Ollie just held his run for a moment. Great spring off his feet and screws the ball over with his left foot. Lovely score from him.
Ollie's marker, by the way, this afternoon is Richie Fahey. A chance to build once again here. Donald Curtis. Good provision of that ball inside to Ollie Murphy once more. Taking on Richie Fahey. Back towards Ray McGee. Nicely into Nigel Nestor, has played in the forwards. Looking just to free himself from the attentions of three Galway backs. In the end, they outnumber him, and it's Richie Fahey who wins it back. Tomás Mannion now. Dangerous challenge. He's fouled, and it's a free out. And Nigel Nestor being spoken to by the referee. And let's see what action he's going to take. It's going to be a card. It's yellow. First yellow card of the match.
Yes, but I don't think there was any real malice in that. I think he tried to go for the ball, but caught Tomás Mannion as he was doing so. But again, it is our first booking of the game. But the Galway defending there was very good. And there was also a lack of support there for Ollie Murphy and for Nigel Nestor when they had the ball from players coming in from the outside.
Alan Kane's kick reaches the sideline. Line ball to Meath. John McDermott. Inside to Graham Geraghty. Always coming out looking for it, drawing the foul on this occasion. Gary Fahy, the one who commits the indiscretion, and it's going to be a free in.
One other significant switch we should talk about. Trevor Giles actually has gone out to the wing and is now being marked by Declan Meehan.
Ray McGee. Nigel Crawford kicking. And he has put it over the bar. First point in the game for the very tall, angular midfield player. So both midfielders, now John McDermott and Crawford, have scored.
Lovely bit of initiative that time by Nigel Crawford, and poor concentration actually by the Galway midfield not to have anticipated that run, but a very good finish.
Kevin Walsh. Tommy Joyce. Beyond Paul Clancy this time. It's Pádraig Joyce who comes out for it. Clancy's gone ahead, but tracking him the whole time was Hank Traynor. Tomás Mannion. Oh! Two Meath men were coming in at him there. Richie Keeley was one, Trevor Giles was the other, numbers 11 and 12. And it's going to result in a Galway free kick. So still 4-3.
Yeah, one of the things we wondered about early on, how well would the Meath defence do in the Galway attack? The Galway attack is getting loads of possession in there, but they're not converting it.
Here's Paul Clancy now, taking on Hank Traynor, showing how it should be done. Great kick. Paul Clancy's first. He's a quality footballer. And the teams are level once again. It's the fourth time they've been level. 4-4. This was wonderful skill here by Clancy. Had strength, had resolve, and had accuracy. So much pressure. Cormac Murphy is following Tommy Joyce everywhere and anywhere. And the deeper Tommy plays, I think the happier Cormac is, because he's played centre-half back in the past, and he's quite comfortable in that particular role. Michael Donnell has now gone on to the 40, and Joe Bergen has been switched to midfield. This is Bergen. Galway retained possession. Michael Donnell fouled. It may be scrappy, but every time you get a chance like this one here to engineer a scoring opportunity, you've got to try and take it. Pádraig Joyce turning into a challenge. Waiting for Bergen. Should be a point here. He's put it over the bar. Joe Bergen second. They had to graft, or they had to work for that, but there was good support play by Joe Bergen. He's had 2 shots at the target. He scored twice, and Galway are leading in this match in front of an attendance of over 70,000.
Yeah, good pass that time from Pádraig Joyce, and Joe Bergen saw the gap opening up in front of him, had the confidence to go on and finished emphatically.
Bergen again jumping here with Nigel Crawford. Tomás Mannion's coming to support, getting away from Ray McGee. Mannion, such a quality footballer. Missed most of last season. He's fouled, taken down, free in. Great opportunity for the Galway to get themselves another point, and it's all down to the genius of Tomás Mannion and his sheer willingness to take it forward at every opportunity. And Pádraig Joyce has now got the responsibility, about 30 metres out. He should get this one. This to put 2 points between the teams. He's got it absolutely right. It's his first point of the match, and it's now Galway 6, Meath 4. John O'Mahony, I'm sure, quietly pleased alongside Pete Warren and Stephen Joyce over there. Pete on the right. Selectors, when they last won the title, are they to do it again? Early stages. We've got about 3 minutes or thereabouts to half-time, and there'll be 1 extra minute to be played. Evan Kelly, second time of asking, feeding it inside towards Nigel Crawford, looking for space. Galway funneling back men. Ray McGee kicking, and Ray McGee has driven it high and over the bar. A fine point by the number 15 from Kilmainham Wood. He's got 2, and it's 6-5 now. There will be very little between them going in at half-time, as we expected. Donald, great ball ahead to Porrick Joyce, inside Fay. Fay getting back goal side. Joyce kicking, and Joyce has put it wide. Only 1 point so far in the match for Porrick Joyce, that coming from a free. Galway need more from him. Well, I think any team prepared by John O'Mahony coming into this final, Meath would have been well aware what to expect. A really tough fight. Galway 6 scores out of 16 chances so far. Meath with 5 scores out of just 7. It's an amazing statistic. Galway creating twice as many opportunities. But they're still only a point up. No breeze around. Here's Graham Geraghty, ready to take on Gary Fahy, Galway's captain. In along the end line. Dragged down, free from 30 metres in. And Gary Fahy will be spoken to by the referee. He's already been ticked, so this should be a yellow card. Referee has already noted his number, and it's yellow. That is now a total of 4 yellow cards, 3 for Galway, 1 for Meath. It's a very straightforward kick for Trevor Giles, the captain from Screen, the 5th Meath man to captain a team in an All-Ireland from this particular club. This to tie it up. It's 6-6. That's his first. Time almost up at the end of the first half, and the referee has blown his whistle. That's the final piece of action. But nothing to choose between the teams on the scoreboard, but Galway have been the more productive. But it doesn't show on the half-time score. As they go in at the break, it is Meath 6, Galway 6. So where they go once again. John McDermott challenged high this time by Bergen. No real attempt to put in a decent tackle. But here comes Graham Geraghty, angling himself straight at Alan Kane. Something of a surprise choice in the Galway team this season. Declan Meehan. Got to skip away from the attentions over there of Richie Keeley. Donald Curtis breaking it down. Ja Fallon trying to keep possession. It's with Bergen. That's a decent ball. In for Porrick Joyce, getting inside Darren Fay. Here's a goal chance, and he has put it over the bar. Puts his hands to his head straight away, because he knows it should have been under and not over. But Galway lead once more. That was a great goal chance. It was a wonderfully perceptive pass through the centre, in over the head of Darren Fay, onto Porrick Joyce. Fay just got to knock onto it, as it were. He was going for a goal, no question in my mind.
Great opportunity, and as I say, Darren Fay was completely caught out there. Did great to recover and get back at Porrick Joyce, and Porrick will know he should have put that in the net.
So 7-6. Galway taking the lead. First decent attack of the second half. Counter-attacking now is Ray McGee towards Trevor Giles, gets it back himself, McGee. They try to work it towards Ollie Murphy, 45 metres out from goal. Pressurised, lots of pressure, in fact too much pressure, and he's kicked it wide. Kevin Walsh, the one who was doing a lot of the bidding, and I think it's Kevin Walsh who's down injured at this stage, being attended to there by Jarlath Dagnan, the team doctor. Well, now he's had so many injuries down the years. It was great to see him back in full health and excellent fitness, but this has happened very early now, as you can see in the second half.
Yeah, well, if there is a silver lining, it's not his leg, which is causing so much problem between groin and calf injuries. And it seems to be maybe a facial belt that he got, so he may be going off for maybe blood treatment.
He wants to stay put, but the referee, I think, is telling him off you go for treatment quickly. They can bring in a fresh man. And I think it's going to be Sean O'Donnell, the obvious and natural replacement into midfield. Sean was telling me his sister Suzanne, I think, is watching this in the States. So he's in. It's a first substitution for the blood injury. Evan Kelly for Meath. So pacey, so direct, so accurate. It's Kelly's first point. Hasn't had too many opportunities. Kieran Fitzgerald, one of the top players this year. Tommy Joyce, deep as ever. Cormac Murphy after him, into the two-man inside forward line. Porrick Joyce getting possession, taking it by, but then losing it. Back towards Derek Savage it comes. Foul coming in, and it's a free in. Appeals by Richie Keeley. But the referee has decided it's a free in to Galway and a really good point-scoring opportunity. Well, John McDermott has made his way back onto the goal line. He's the only one going in there to assist Cormac Sullivan. I think they're all fairly certain that this is going over the bar from Porrick Joyce. Tight enough angle, mind you. Should suit a left-footed kicker. And it certainly does. It's Galway who go back in front once more. Joyce has now kicked a third point. 8 points to 7. Ollie Murphy got to get some treatment there. I can't help wondering whether or not the worst thing that could have happened this Meath team was their huge victory over Kerry. Everybody then telling them they simply had to win this final. I know Sean Boylan would have tried to get their feet firmly on the ground, but that's bound to have been difficult. Galway combining well at the back. Nice play. There's a Galway player down injured, and it is Kieran Fitzgerald. Graham Geraghty's been called aside by the referee. Could be another card here. Paddy Reynolds is being prepared. That's a yellow card for Graham Geraghty. Well, there is the substitution. Paddy Reynolds on. Ollie Murphy forced out.
That's a huge blow to Meath, actually, if Ollie Murphy's gone off. He must have injured something very badly if he's been forced to take a complete break from the game.
He has to be injured. You wouldn't take him off at an All-Ireland final. He's such a valuable forward. So too is Derek Savage. Good work by Mark O'Reilly. Donlan playing it inside for Porrick Joyce. Good steadying effect here by Joyce. He's at his most expressive. He has kicked a fourth point. Galway are dominating and lead by 9 points to 7. All those chances, all those opportunities were bound to pay off. What is the response of Meath, who have a never-say-die approach about them in their football? McDermott trying to win this Meath kick-out, but again it's Kevin Walsh who takes it down. A really important figure in this Galway team. Walsh looking for Porrick Joyce. Again taking Darren Fay out of position. Fay, like Mick Lyons before him in the number 3 shirt, would love to be under the dropping ball. Galway are clever, they're doing well, and it's inside here, and Meehan came so close to getting a second All-Ireland final goal, having been fed the pass inside by Derek Savage. Another let off for Meath. Well, you remember Declan Meehan's great goal last year against Kerry in the replay. Here he was popping up, and Sullivan did well, and it's going to be a 45.
That was such an opportunity for Declan Meehan, but great goalkeeping from Cormac Murphy. But there was a number of Galway players that time queuing up to get the ball. They're pulverising Meath everywhere except on the scoreboard.
Meath are about to bring in John Cullinan as well, goal scorer against Kerry. They need all their big guns. Michael Donald saying to the referee that Paddy Reynolds has not backed the requisite distance. Can he put it over from here? He's put it away to the right. Many mistakes been made all over the field. Richie Keeley's going off the Meath team, and it's John Cullinan who's coming on. John O'Mahony hoping that his side can hold onto their 2-point lead and indeed extend it. So Keeley off, and on comes John Cullinan from Drumree. McDermott going up there, almost Australian rule style. Down to Trevor Giles. It skips in along. Lots of pressure, and it's gone wide. John Cullinan was coming in after that one, but a very composed-looking Gary Fahy, the Galway captain, had the situation under control. So a low enough scoring All-Ireland final. After 50 minutes of this match, Galway have made 24 scoring chances to Meath's 12. Meath need an awful lot more, but still only 2 in it. That's a terrible kick by Trevor Giles. Galway have a chance to win it back here. Dragged down here is Paul Clancy. And the referee is issuing the red card. It's to Nigel Nestor, who was booked already. It's a second yellow card, and Meath are down to 14 players. Just over 15 minutes gone in the second half. Nigel Nestor is sent off, dragging down Paul Clancy here. He's done it once too often in this match, and the referee said, off you go. It was tough already. It's even tougher now on Meath. But how often in the past have 14 men beaten 15 in a major final? We've all seen it before. Now it's up to the men in green and gold. Galway putting up a ferocious challenge to them. Donald Curtis furious with the referee. And for his protestations, his team are penalised an extra 13 metres. This is now very kickable for Porrick Joyce. Gets a little pat on the head from his brother, Tommy Joyce, as if to say, wish you well. Put it over the bar. Edge of the exclusion zone. 30 metres out. Very light breeze at this stage, blowing over his right shoulder towards the left. It's an important one, and he has got it. He's put it over the bar. It's 5 points now for Porrick Joyce. And he's made it 10 points to 7.
Well, there's a position Meath have been in often, like down to 14 men with 15 or 20 minutes to go. And I certainly think in this case, the ultimate test has been put up to them. That was a tremendous block by Michael Donlan and Darren Fay with that clearance.
So Meath having to play the remaining minutes of this match with 14. They'll have played the last 20 by the time we get to the 70 with 1 man less. That was Porrick Joyce coming across there. Paddy Reynolds kicking it back in. Riley. Darren Fay. Towards John McDermott, but it's gathered instead by Kevin Walsh of Galway. Holding up the play. Ja Fallon. Back to Walsh. Good ball to Porrick Joyce. It's a clever ball. It was right in front of him. Gave him a decent chance. This on his right side. And he has kicked this one. And he's put it over. 6 points for Joyce. Showing that he's equally accomplished on his right-hand side. But I think it was the quality of the passing that made it all happen.
Yes, a quick, crisp pass from Kevin Walsh into Porrick Joyce, who incidentally has been marked by Mark Riley, which surprises me. Darren Fay had a good game on him in the first half, but this time with his right foot scores a very good point. He's having a marvellous game in the second half from play.
He's had 11 shots at the target. He's scored 6 times. Evan Kelly for a Meath side with only 6 points to their credit. following their fascinating win in the semi-final against the defending champions Kerry. Cormac Murphy up among the attackers, back once again towards Paddy Reynolds inside here. Nigel Crawford, great block down. Still the opportunities for Trevor Giles, and Giles has kicked it wide. And I think an awful lot of the Galway followers here right now, with just over 16 minutes to play, are probably thinking Meath don't have it in them this afternoon. This was Nigel Crawford, and that was where it was blocked down really well, and Kevin Walsh back there helping out.
Yes, but there are so many Meath players off colour today. It's amazing, like for an All-Ireland final. I think too many of them maybe believe the hype and what was spoken about, you know, arising from the victory against Kerry.
Cormac Murphy challenging for this one. It reaches Paddy Reynolds. Nicely taken down by Sean O'Dwyer. Is he to win another All-Ireland medal? Early stages yet as Kieran Fitzgerald takes it forward. Meehan coming onto it. The attack-conscious number 5, Derek Savage. Plenty of players waiting for it to come their way. Porrick Joyce again on his right-hand side, by Reynolds this time, by John McDermott, and over the bar! It's an excellent spell for Galway. And Porrick Joyce is coming good in the second half. A little tentative in the first. He's finding his confidence, he's finding the target. And he's found his best form. It's 12 points to 7.
Yes, a lovely piece of interplay again, and a great finish with his right foot by Porrick Joyce, having a super second half.
Graham Geraghty. Remember, it's a Meath team missing the injured Ollie Murphy. Into Paddy Reynolds. Knocking it in well. And that is kicked over the bar by the substitute, John Cullinan. His first chance, his first score. It's a vital one. It means there are only 4 between them. And we've talked so often in the build-up to this, in many discussion places everywhere and anywhere, about Meath's capacity to get goals. This man got a goal the last day. Today, it's a point. One decent chance for Sean Boylan's team. And you never know what might happen. We've seen Galway now miss 2 goals.
Yes, but the main goal-a-door, so to speak, on the Meath team is on the bench at the moment and don't look to have it in them today to score a goal. But again, maybe their famous last words.
Declan Meehan pursued by Graham Geraghty. Great pace, lovely control, nice action. Down to Savage. Inside to Paul Clancy. Held off the challenge well. Good pass, Porrick Joyce at the receiving end, and the umpires look and decide it's another one for Porrick Joyce. It's his 8th of the match. It's some display now by this wonderfully talented footballer. It's 13 points to 8. Cormac Murphy is about to be replaced, but first let's look at this again. And if you're watching it in Ayr Square or any part of Galway, you'll revel in this.
Well, he's absolutely oozing class and authority at the moment. He's had some tour de force over the last 10 minutes or so. Tremendous display. But again, I said, it's surprising that Darren Fay isn't picking him up.
Now Kelly's in. Cormac Murphy is off. Wasn't necessarily Cormac Murphy's type of game. Tommy Joyce just went everywhere and anywhere, barring to the dressing rooms. It's won back by Paddy Reynolds. He'll have been disappointed enough not to have started this match. Good ball down. Here it comes again. John McDermott's around, and the referee's giving a penalty. It's a penalty to Meath. Kevin Walsh being spoken to by the referee, and Michael Collins was emphatic.
Yes, that was a very cheeky and perceptive pass by Graham Geraghty into John McDermott that time, and probably he made the most of it in earning the penalty, but I think it was a correct decision by the referee.
This to give Meath some real hope. Giles has put it wide. Oh, an amazing miss. They will feel it's their day, surely after that.
But it sums up his day for them. There's days simply nothing goes right for you, and maybe this is one of those days for Trevor. Remember in 1996 he scored the goal against Mayo, down in the same goals. This time they're just a little cheeky pass from Geraghty, and okay, 2 or 3 of them went around, but John certainly did a little bit of a dive there, got the penalty but missed it, and maybe there was justice in that.
It's a bad miss. Kane kicking deep to midfield. McDermott rising again. They'll feel they still have a chance. Lost by Hank Traynor. Here comes Paul Clancy. Nice solo, good control. It might have been a goal at the other end. It's a point for Galway. It's looking like their day. 10 minutes still to go. Everything is going right for Galway, but then they have been the more dominant force. They've created so many opportunities, a total of 29 chances so far, and they've taken 14.
Yes, and what's unusual actually is the body language. A lot of the Meath players out there, the heads seem to have dropped. Nobody seems to be able to provide the leadership today. It's just one of those days maybe that can happen in a team, and I'd say an awful lot of it is because of what happened in the semi-final against Kerry. Too many of them, I think, thought they had only to come up here today and accept the cup.
It certainly gave John O'Mahony a great incentive to wind up his players. He's done that. Mr. Perfection. Darren Fay challenged by Ja Fallon. Still the eager Beaver Galway players, and they managed to win a free in, and the referee is calling aside Donal Curtis on this occasion. He's been ticked earlier on, so this is probably going to be another yellow card. It is. I can't help feeling, I've probably said it already, but the worst thing that could have happened this Meath team was to have trounced Kerry.
Oh yeah, very much so. Because certainly if you come into a game where your attitude isn't right, and when you see a team having a way more urgency than you, it's very hard to actually go and, you know, redirect yourself halfway through a game. You must be right beforehand, or else it's impossible to change course halfway through.
So Curtis, the guilty party there, as we saw in reprise, and it's now Pádraig Joyce once again. His confidence has to be sky high. His team leading by 6 points. Just over 6 minutes remaining. He has stretched it even more. Galway lead by 7. Surely now they cannot lose this final. It will be the greatest comeback ever by any Meath team if they get back, even within a point or two. But Galway have been much the more dominant factor. Yes,
and the stretch credibility to expect Meath to play as well today as they played against Kerry the last day, but certainly none of it expected them to be as quiet and to be as off-colour as they were.
They've only scored 8 points. Missed a penalty. Declan Meehan, he's in again. Dupre is alongside him. Wisely, I think, he put it over the bar. That's his first point. But it's interesting that Sean Dupre was backing him up just in case a pass came his way, and a goal there, we might as well have blown the whistle.
Yes, and we said before the game that if the Galway half-back line was dominant, Galway would win it, and they've been outstanding throughout, as it had so many other lines in the team. But that time either Sean Og or Declan Meehan, who eventually scored it, could have found the range.
Here comes John Cullinan once again. But Galway using their numerical superiority. They've had that extra man in defence. I gather for the last minute of this match, Joe Bergen is the one who'll make way, and Alan Kearns will come in. That way he will have won his All-Ireland football medal on the field. John O'Mahony about to make the late change. So Joe Bergen off. No fault of Joe Bergen's. He played really well. They all played well. In fact, you could take off anybody right now.
Well, indeed, and it's nice to see a bit of sentiment in sport, and I'm delighted John O'Mahony gave Alan Kearns a run here, because he'd been so effective for them in so many games during the summer that it's great that he got on the field for an All-Ireland final to win his All-Ireland medal.
Kieran Comer is coming on as well, and Tommy Joyce going off. They have it won. Only a matter of seconds now. Michael Donnellan breaking it down. Jinking his way in there was the substitute Alan Kearns. Referee awarding the free. It's quite a tired-looking Meath team this afternoon. They've looked leaden-footed for most of the 70 minutes. Never really seemed to have it. Boric Joyce, it's only shooting practice at this stage. He has kicked 10 points in this All-Ireland Football Final. It is all over, and Galway are the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland Football Champions for 2001. A game without any goals. Galway had a couple of chances. Meath had a penalty. Meath also lost Nigel Nestor with 20 minutes of the match remaining. But in spite of all of that, there was one team really up for it today, and they were the men from the West, the first ever side to be beaten in a provincial championship match, to go on and lift the Sam Maguire Cup. But now it's the turn of Gary Fahy, the Galway captain, their number 3, to come and take the cup. The Sam Maguire Cup is going to Galway.
Yes, that was the way it all worked out, and you can see that they all enjoyed that out at the City West Hotel, where the celebrations are. You were walking out from the ground after the game with me. People were saying, say something nice about Galway tonight, but you couldn't say anything else, could you?
You couldn't. Credit to Galway for an absolutely outstanding display of football. I mean, we've been saying all year that there must be 70. We know they're a good football team, and we were saying all year that they haven't given us 70 minutes of good football. They've given us 20-minute patches, 30-minute patches. You were always saying it was in them because they're good footballers, and they played in the second half today. I mean, a bit like their victory over Kildare, where they upped their performance so much in the second half. That was a tremendous performance. And, you know, it's very difficult to analyse it. I mean, in a way, pace, they were much faster, they were sharper, they were hungrier, their movement was good, and like the forward movement was brilliant. But I think one thing we forget about Galway, this Galway team, I think you have to give them credit this year. I think defensively they have become very, very strong, and that's defensively all over the field. Yeah. They've adopted a lot of Meath tactics. Once they lose possession, they harry, they chase, they close down the space. They were tremendous in that today. And I suppose, looking at Meath, it was a flat performance. It was a bit, look, all along I kept saying that semi-final victory over Kerry was a very, very false indicator. It was achieved against a Kerry team who threw in the towel. It wasn't a real indicator of form. Look, semi-finals are a bit like pre-marriage courses. They don't really give you an indication of how you will cope when the real pressure comes on. And the real pressure, the day to deliver, it's a bit like being the best singer in your bathroom. The day to deliver is on the big stage, big time, and it's Croke Park and All-Ireland final day. You can forget about fabulous semi-final performance, quarter-final performance. That was a magnificent performance delivered by Galway today.
Joe Brawley, I suppose the scene was set for this yesterday. The Kilmacud Croke Sevens out the road in Stillorgan that you played in yourself, and Tube Stars won that and got the weekend off from a Galway point of view to the right start, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as Pat said, analysis of the game is relatively simple because it was remarkably similar to the Kerry-Meath game. I mean, Galway came to the game ready for the battle, and Meath simply weren't ready. I mean, Galway were buzzing, their tails were up, you could see in their body language from day one. The only reason they weren't sort of well ahead by half-time was because they kicked so many wides. I mean, and yesterday at the Kilmacud Sevens, I was talking to Paul McFlynn, one of the Derry players who played against Galway, and himself and Johnny McBride were making the same point about Galway's speed, how in the last 10 minutes Galway's speed just overwhelmed them, talking in particular about Declan Meehan, Kieran Fitzgerald. These fellas, I mean, Declan Meehan today must have made 9 90-metre dashes up the field to support the forwards and then come sprinting back to his position, you know, so their stamina and their pace was something that the Derry fellas talked about, and you could see that today. I mean, they simply overwhelmed Meath. I mean, the great indication of a team's attitude is how they tackle on the day. And watching Galway's tackling today, I mean, you would have thought there were 20 Galway players on the field.
But it's also about putting the ball over the bar.
Well, it isn't, to be quite honest. I mean, Evan Kelly mustn't have been at the game at all because he said they took most of their chances. Galway kicked 13 wides today and squandered a lot of opportunities. But when they did score, we picked out Padraig Joyce was magnificent. But watch this, all these things showed. This is alertness by Savage. Plenty composure, walks it off. Lovely dummy by Padraig Joyce onto his left foot over the bar. Again, same thing. Look, nice movement here, nice ball in front of Padraig Joyce. Turns, composure, waits, and a lovely right foot. Now, he did get a lot of space from Darren Fay. And again, lovely support. The movement was great. Watch this again. This was, I think, Joyce's best point. Onto his right foot. Now, I never saw him before, kicking with his right foot. This was a brilliant point. On the run. Again, Faye standing off him. And at the end, we've just one final one. The one we picked out, one that Pádraig Joyce didn't score. And this is the movement. Look at this. Movement, support play, pace. Lovely point by Paul Clancy. I mean, that's tremendous. They were really on top in that second half. And like I said, that was the difference. Meath had a plan A. It was to lamp the ball into the two boys. They didn't get the ball into the two boys. There was great variety in their attacks. There was great movement, great pace, great flair, great support play. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. But also, and I want to pick up again with the two of you on Galway's defence, and you've both been making the point about this, that it is, I mean, people talk about Galway's forwards, but their defence this year in particular has been so good.
Well, if you look at this is the bad part of Meath's play. When they did get the ball into Ollie Murphy, it was inside in the corner, but this was great defence by Richie Fahey, who had a tremendous game. Great composure, never panicked, forced Murphy into passing. Garrity fumbles the ball, and who's first into it? Richie Fahey. Tremendous. And again, watch this for a block down. Tremendous block down. Declan Meehan and Donald Curtis.
And of course, the thing about it is that, as Pat said, the tackling was absolutely tremendous throughout the game. I mean, they harried and they harried. And at times, there were 4 Galway men around one Meath man, and that's indicative of their attitude and how they approached the game. And also, I mean, they're just stupendous pace. I mean,
watch this for a tremendous block down by Michael Donlan and Darren Fay. Look, tremendous block.
But it was typical of the game. I mean, it got to the stage where every time a Meath man got the ball, he dropped it. I mean, they were so hesitant and nervous, looking over their shoulder, wondering where the tackle was going to come from. I mean, eventually, they were under such pressure that players like Trevor Giles, who are famous for their calmness, kicking the ball over the sideline, kicking frees to Galway men. I mean, Galway simply overwhelmed them, and there's nothing really much else you can say about the game. Yeah. I mean, to pick out one Galway individual in the middle of such a magnificent performance is, I mean, it's impossible to do that. I mean, there was just one team in it. I mean, when was the last time you saw a Meath team demoralised with 20 minutes left and out for the count with no answer? I mean, it was a...